Okay, they're now reducing the percentage of likeliness that they raise interest rates.
What's up? Good morning, everyone.
Morning,
Hey,
See
Ted.
what's happening, buddy.
how you doing,
Richie,
man?
I'm all right, brother. I'm hanging in. How you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Fucking
Good.
watching the fireworks out here, man.
I'm saying, right? Crazy
Crazy.
times. What you were just saying, though, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I don't know
the
about
Fed has
all-time high,
never,
JD, but maybe not COVID lows at least.
yeah, the Fed has never increased rates into a crisis like this before. So no one really knows what would happen if they did. 'Cause we're probably about to slide into a recession anyways. So,
Right, and we've been just like on the cusp for a while, right? Even before
right.
COVID, we were saying it. And then COVID was obviously clear as day in it. Crawled out of it. Now we're about to crawl back into it.
Oh, we are live on YouTube for a quick little prep. Let me grab a link.
Air siren going off in Kiev. Kiev?
Kiev. Yeah,
Kiev.
that was that dropped about 10 minutes ago. I thought. Is it going off again?
I guess it's going off again, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, they're moving the Champions League final out of Russia. Guess they have to.
All right, we're gonna have a quick prep. So hopefully you're logged in or tuned in and watching. Doesn't say anyone is, so either way, I'm gonna just jump in.
No, yeah,
Um,
get in. We in there.
Key thing to watch. Overnight, we had dramatic drops with the news, Russia invading Ukraine. If you're not aware, you need to catch up real fast. Um, I recommend drawing trend lines from these high wicks that we've been selling off from at the tail end of yesterday into overnight session. We have come up and tapped that and pulled back. We are settling into a 30-minute squeeze right before open. The overnight low and the overnight high from this morning are the top and bottom of that 30-minute squeeze. So settling into this range, we have this downtrend line. If we can break through that downtrend line, it can cause an inflection and maybe a good bounce, like recovery bounce to the top of this 30-minute squeeze and to go test that pre-market high. If it rejects there, we're going to stay range bound. We could easily have an inside day, wicking inside and outside of this 30-minute squeeze, inside and outside of this pre-market high and low, but ultimately having an inside day after having multiple down days. And it's worth noting, we're kind of in a channel, right? And yes, we've slipped out of that channel, so if we can get through this downtrend from the overnight selling, we can pop back up to these highs. We will have the bottom of that channel to contend with. We are, excuse me, we're already down so much, full ATR and everything. We might need a little bit of a recovery pop, at least for the people that started to go long back here to get back out before shorting again, right? Moving on to NQ. NQ, kind of the same thing. We have our overnight low. We came back to test it and caught a bounce. Let's see if that turns into a W to start getting us through this trend line. We are pretty much at it. We could take a little dump at open to retest these lows and the bottom of the squeeze to gain up some momentum before getting through the trend line. We have the same pre-market low and high. Um, sure if we zoom out, and it's a little bit more of an increasing megaphone. So, we also have daily Keltner below and above. With so much action, we could get through and recover back, and this could all just be a wick for us to settle back. But we do have a lot of looming catalysts, a lot of looming news. A lot of these higher time frame squeezes have fired. We would have to get back up today and tomorrow for them to come back into existence and for us to still be in a daily squeeze. So we'd have to see some strong recovery today and tomorrow to get back up in these ranges. Moving on, the Ruddy. Actually still in its daily squeeze. Kind of skirting down to the bottom yet, or the bottom of it, and has not fired quite yet. So Ruddy could be a very good gauge for if we are going to get through these trend lines and start to get back to the pre-market highs. We've been noticing the Ruddy kind of taking the initiative first, or at least having a little bit more dramatic reaction around these key inflections so that we can see it reject kind of first and then all the indices follow, just because small caps are getting beat up right now. So everything's getting beat up, but they undulate a little harder. So watch pre-market high and low, 30-minute squeeze, kind of the same story all around. We are below that Keltner, second Keltner down, and we have room to go. So if we let go on Ruddy, it will be a good sign. YM. It actually looked a little stronger a second ago than some of the others, so we might get some YM leading the rotation. It's already starting to break through the downtrend line a little bit. If we are going to have these military conflicts lingering and continuing, if we get involved and whatnot, we're probably going to see some rotation into some YM names, right? So definitely keep an eye over there. YM could lead and Q could lag and ES could move up with YM and Q getting dragged along for the ride. Got to keep an eye out for what they're going to rotate into today if they're going to try to push and have a recovery pop. Same thing, pre-market highs and lows. We are setting higher lows as we're moving in towards this trend line that's coming down pretty sharp, right? If we can hit through pre-market highs, same thing, we got the Keltner above. And we're not even quite third Keltner down yet, so where is the third Keltner? No, I'm sorry, maybe we are. No, I'm sorry, yeah, we are. It was the 8's covering up the first one. Okay, so we're third Keltner down, right? And one full ATR down. So don't go into open just thinking short, short, short. We have to see if they want to recover back at least to these pre-market highs so that these folks that put in all this energy to stop the drip overnight, if they want to get it back to where they stopped to get out before heading lower. Not going to do the full list, just going to hit some key names. Apple, very key number is 155. We are now below it with all this overnight drop, right? 155 is very key. If you go back, it was kind of the end of the last sell-off before Apple was so strong the last quarter of the year. It was stuck below 155, and last time we had a big sell-off, it tapped 155 and bounced. Now we are below it, so it should be a magnet to get us right back to it for a test from the bottom. The daily Keltner is there as well, the third Keltner down. So 155 on Apple today going to be very, very key. You can see it already tried to stop the bounce, tried to stop the drop a couple of times, gave out, fought back to and rejected. We're probably going to test it today. So keep an eye on that. AMD. Gave up that 114 yesterday. It's at the second Keltner down. It has a squeeze bottom around 102, about where it got to this morning. Got some key levels, obviously, at around 199. That could stop us before we get to the next Keltner down, which is around 97. If we can hold pre-market lows, get through the trend lines that we've been talking about, could get up to a 105, and if we really push, maybe 106, 107 at most, but we have to see how the rest of the market's going to do. Amazon, very promising wick. We had this big old gap fill that has now been filled, and we have arrived back at a key zone. This could be, and it's the bottom of the gap fill, so this could be a great spot for Amazon to hold today. And that wick is very promising, as in it could have some relative strength at open. I know that with all the selling, it can be a little leery to try to go long, but I am expecting some relief pop. The action that took it down overnight was Asian and European markets. Now the U.S. is coming in. It's going to be a lot more volume. So see what we get on Amazon. If these pre-market lows give out, this zone could accelerate us from about 2780 straight down to 2700 fast. So we're looking for a bounce here and to try to come back up to this key 2881. Don't know if we'll get that far today, but keep an eye on that. Facebook not going to cover. Google also gave that kind of interesting wick up. I believe Tesla also did as well. Google not a huge focus, but we do have a gap now, and this interesting wick to fill the gap. So same as Amazon, could have some interesting relative strength. Microsoft. Come on. Same thing, interesting wicks, kind of a scoop and a ramp, and at those trend lines from yesterday, right? So as long as we can hold that pre-market low, we can try to fight through this trend line, try to come take out these wicks back at around 280. Netflix, not a big interest. Just gonna keep trucking. Nvidia actually still has its daily squeeze intact, right? So would be interesting to see. Chips did not have the best strength. They did a couple days ago yesterday, pretty weak. I know everything dropped, but some things were trying to hold themselves up before everything dropped. AMD, I'd almost say, was a little bit stronger than NVIDIA in that regard. But it's going to be kind of the same story on everything. We'll see if the lows can hold, if we can get through the downtrend, try to revisit pre-market highs. I'm going to kind of focus on some of these names that have these interesting wicks. I know they're going to be block orders causing those. But that also just means there's some interest, there's probably going to be some higher than average volume in those names today, right? Almost all of FANG and Tesla have these crazy wicks up to try to fill the gap. Going to be interesting. See if FANG wants to try to hold the market up or pull it back up. Tesla, same thing, downtrend from overnight. We've got these zones. Let's see if 715 can provide support. Try to go take out 730 on a mission back to 740, 750. Or, you know, if we just give out 715 or reject 715, can't hold 700, down we go. We'll cover SPY and QQQ real quick. It's going to be the same story. Need to hold pre-market lows. You know, SPY and QQQ got those interesting wicks with the FANG names, holding the squeeze bottom and pre-market lows. So let's see if we can push our way up. And I'll just show my QQQ chart so that you guys have it for reference. But not going to repeat myself. It's same premise. At least everything's coming to a point right at open. It might take a minute for things to settle. We could have an inside day. But if these hold, then we should try to work our way up to the top. Good luck today. We'll be in live calling everything out. See you in there.